Now, folks, if you'll just gather around a little closer now. Come right in a little closer. That's it. That's fine, folks.
All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
It's like a chessboard with chess pieces that could potentially explode. Nah, we're talking about Usyk versus Wilder. How did this fight get made? Usyk doesn't have a broadcaster. He doesn't have one of the major promoters behind him. Like, no disrespect to Krushak or Klimas. These small potatoes out here. Manny was enticed to sign a multi-fight deal with the PBC, thinking that Mayweather would be part of the deal. But Mayweather laughed after Manny signed, saying, I'm not fighting him. And Manny ended up fighting Broner, Keith Thurman, and Ugas, losing his WBA to the latter. There was the undisputed fight at 168, where Canelo took on Caleb Plant. PBC wasn't just trying to give Canelo the solo deal. They wanted a commitment, because he was a big favourite to beat Caleb. They ended up paying out a lot of money, thinking Canelo was Team PBC, and he's going to fight the likes of Jamal and Errol Spence, actually. Then Canelo went back to TYSON and Matchroom, 40 million the richer. They don't want that to happen, do they? So even though Usyk's got 3 belts, Wilder is that potential exploding chess piece on the board. He's one of their last draws. You know, I'm sure Terence Crawford are talking about Errol Spence. I'm sure they've got him tied in to a rematch clause or maybe a 3-fight deal or something like that, or the fight's not going to get made. And even though Usyk is the champion and Wilder is now in contender land, they're not just going to give up Wilder like that. They're going to want a multi-fight deal from Usyk. Not that they haven't got no faith in Wilder, but they know what Usyk can do. We know why Tyson Fury is reluctant to unify and go for undisputed against him. They're going to want guarantees. Can't just beat up Wilder and then run back to Eddie or to Bob Arum or whoever after. They're not going to have that, the PBC. They've learnt after Eddie and Joshua finessed them out of the IBF belt that Charles Martin had. They've learnt that sometimes they go a little over the top in the risk-reward stakes when it comes to making the cross-promotion fights. So don't get too excited. Unless Usyk is prepared to make the commitment with the PBC, there's a good chance this fight don't get past the first stage of negotiation. Just know that if he beats Wilder and signs with the PBC, he doesn't get to negotiate the undisputed fight with the winner of AJ and Fury as a free agent. So before I get excited about that fight, I have to look at the politics at play. I can't get excited about it yet, you know. The only question now is how much do Klimas, Krushak and Usyk want the fight? They might just want the one fight. The PBC are going to want to make you a PBC fighter. And I'm not coming down on the PBC. I know a lot of people are going to be saying you're always saying something counterproductive, it seems, against the PBC. No, this is just modern day boxing at the mainstream level to a degree. Professional boxing. I'm sure Devin just wanted to sign a one-fight deal to fight Kambosos for undisputed. Him and his dad Bill ended up giving up their free agent status to have a multi-fight deal with Bob Arum, and to a lesser extent, I guess, Lou DiBella. Granted, Don King is a diminished force in 2022, but I'm still going to mention him. When you're talking about Don, Arum, they go back 60s, perhaps Don got in late 70s actually. Warren, early 80s, let's say. Hearn, mid to late 80s. These guys don't like free agents. They don't like them. Audley Harrison found that out. Free agents give other fighters bright ideas, don't they? And Usyk will find that out as well. You know, it's not like Wilder is a mandatory where the fight goes to a purse bid. If Team Wilder is serious, they don't have to try and hem up Usyk into some multi-fight contract or whatever, doing Al's dirty work. They don't have to do that. Highest bidder wins. Bob Arum might put in a bid. Eddie Hearn might put in a bid. So it's not a voluntary. And once you go into the PBC's lair and start asking for something, they're going to want something back. 100%. The original plan for the PBC was for Wilder to fight Andy Ruiz, and that's the easier fight. And if the numbers don't crunch up, that they can make a significant profit fighting Usyk. And then add to that, they're going to want to retain his services just in case he beats Wilder, and that is going to cost them. And then they're going to have to ask, what can Usyk draw in America? They're going to go with Ruiz. They're going to go the careful way they've orchestrated Deontay's career. Wilder might try and switch it around that AJ's had the easy career, everything given to him. No, he's had the easy career. The best belt holder Wilder has ever beat is Likovic, ever. Present, former or past. And Berman Stavern. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but the PBC and their whole model of boxing makes me very skeptical. So, excuse me if I can't take it serious that Wilder is going to fight Usyk after he fights Helenius and beats Helenius. So I can't get excited. I'm not even excited for Crawford and Spence. I want to see it, but it's took so long. Now you've got projected dates when you want me to do cartwheels. It's going to take me time to build my enthusiasm back. It will return. My enthusiasm will return because I want to see it, but it'll take a little while to absorb. I'm still a skeptic. You need to do more to convince me and others that it's going to happen. Yeah? We don't want to hear all this good shit and then next week Crawford and Spence negotiations have hit a snag. Nah. Let's keep it moving. Still a skeptic. I'm thinking like they're hearing all this Joshua Fury talk, all this Canelo Triple G talk, and they were saying that Crawford and Spence were supposed to be the bigger fight and they haven't made it yet. Have they announced it and still haven't got the plan together yet? PBC haven't produced big in a long time. Yeah, they need to make an announcement at least. Straighten out the details later. Hopefully it's more than just a PR exercise. This is very critical for Al Heyman because the internet is going nuts with just the suggestion this fight might be happening. Nothing official, and the internet is going nuts. Until I see Crawford and Spence together, or at least one of them come out and say, yes, this is official, it's still a bust for me. So the tentative details for Spence and Crawford. November the 19th, I haven't seen anything about a location. This is all Mike Coppinger. Nothing's been signed, though they expect it will be. Both fighters are apparently in camp, getting ready for the promotional run. You know, using words like bilateral rematch clause doesn't make it more a reality than it was for the last few years by using fancy words. Basically, a bilateral meaning a two-way rematch clause. Either fighter, losing fighter, will be able to trigger the clause. They're saying, well, Mike Coppinger is saying that Crawford will take less of the revenue split, and that's one of the things that could have been holding up the fight for as long as it's took. The EUBANK BENN thing is taking a bizarre turn. The fight goes ahead. EUBANK Senior doesn't want Junior fighting at 157. He doesn't want that. He says he's lost one son already, Sebastian. He had a medical condition. I don't have the accurate information to hand of what he died of. But that took a toll on EUBANK Senior. It took a toll on Junior too. It took a toll on the whole family. And he said a few times now, I've lost one son, I'm not going to lose another. He said to Nigel Benn this time, this is not just a game to make a big splash. This is life and death. Gerald McClellan is real. Nigel, you did that to him. I did that to Michael Watson. I didn't want to do that. You cannot do this to my son. Senior and Ben have actually been doing a speaking tour, which continues, I believe, in October. They've buried the hatchet a long time ago. And EUBANK said, the love I have for you, Nigel Benn, is beyond your comprehension. He said he knows what Nigel's blood tastes like. He smelt his blood on him in the ring, which was, you know, as the newspaper said, bizarre. He said his blood tasted like rust. Now, how you would know what rust tastes like, you'd have to ask Chris. Ever since this fight was announced, I think it's bringing up a lot of buried emotions of what he had to go through, man. Like, when he was talking to Gary Newbon, he wanted to get medical attention. His tongue was split really bad. Junior was saying that, I don't know how Junior would have known in 1990. He would have been just born, wouldn't he? But he was saying that, yeah, he remembers his mum had to nurse Chris back because he was so messed up after the fight. I don't think Chris wants to dredge up all that energy again. I just don't, even though he's not going to be fighting. Conor Ben said he just done 10 rounds while somebody's having daddy issues. EUBANK came back with a rebuttal that I don't have at hand right now. Sometimes I wonder if Chris tries to overshadow Junior a little. And it may not be deliberate. He just has such a unique, if you like, character that he outshines most people in his presence. The Fury AJ call out was as random as you can get with an undisputed fight with Usyk looming. So Fury in many people's opinion, has this reputation of being a master at mind games. Is this a genuine offer, or is he just trying to stall the Usyk fight? Because he had a lot to say when he made the offer. He was online consistently, and as soon as AJ accepted all the terms, first the 60-40 split, and then the December the 3rd date, this all went quiet. I haven't seen him or Frank Warren pop up. And look, you see these online challenges rather than taking it to the boardroom. Frank and Fury, they seemed very anxious to get this fight done if they were serious. And now AJ's accepted it. People are asking, have they called his bluff? I mean, if you're that anxious, why is it taking so long to send the contract over? And look, they may send the contract over today. They may. But a lot of people don't believe that he really wanted the fight. Eddie Hearn doesn't believe it. And the reason AJ submitted to all the terms, 60-40 and December the 3rd rather than December the 17th, which would have been 2 weeks more prep for AJ considering he fought late August, is explained by Eddie Hearn. Joshua feels he can't let this shot slip. A lot of people are assessing it. They're saying it might take an age for AJ to get back in the world title picture. AJ is ranked in all the sanctioning bodies now, right? AJ has already been twice unified champion. He's had straps. It's nothing new to him. The reason AJ has accepted this, he believes there may not be another chance to get Tyson Fury in a ring. Eddie Hearn said he thinks this is his only chance because if he fights Usyk, win, lose, or draw, he may retire. He may never fight again. Or he might take 2 years out. That's why he's took the fight. It's not the belt. It's not the belt. We've heard what he said about the belts recently. Though if he beats Fury, let's see if he throws this in the trash. He wants the scalp. He wants the respect. He wants to shut Fury up. And he's also speculating that it could be an attempt to generate some publicity and maybe get some interest going in a Usyk fight. Get more money from a site, etc., etc. There's more wheeling and dealing on Frank, Fury and Bob Arum's behalf. There's more wheeling and dealing as far as they're concerned. I can't say what that is. I'm not privy to the info. But it's not as straightforward as some of the Tyson Fury fans are saying. It really isn't. You know, the fact that you're still latching on to Tyson Fury fighting in December, then fighting in March, just tells me you're an idiot. You're an idiot. He's never did this before, fought two world-class opponents within months of each other. He's never did it before, but he's going to do it now. I think JOYCE originally picked AJ to perhaps beat Tyson Fury. He's changed his pick. He's going for Tyson Fury. He's saying that, you know, Joshua can bang. He's got damaging power. So you can't write him off. And Billy Joe Saunders is saying Tyson can't just walk through AJ like he walked through Wilder. This is two different fights. He's got to use his brain. So people in the industry are acknowledging that this is a real challenge. Only a Tyson Fury fan believes that, yeah, you can select AJ as a tune-up. Malik Scott said it's crazy to suggest that Anthony Joshua cannot beat Tyson Fury. He says you have to respect AJ for accepting any offer from Fury. He believes he can beat him. He said he really can't say who wins, because if you go off the last fight, stylistically, Fury and Usyk have different styles. He said the momentum is with Fury. It's only right. He said if AJ is intelligent enough and is willing to be physical enough, he could throw a monkey wrench in that. If he's willing to attack Tyson Fury's flaws, foundational flaws, hand positioning flaws, vulnerable flaws, where he takes his opponent for granted, then AJ could cause some trouble. Fury is very intelligent, arrogant. He pours his arrogance on guys. A lot of times he beats guys mentally. If you don't fall for that, and you stick with your game plan and you're willing to run for him the right way, not just from an emotional standpoint, but the right way, then I believe you could give him trouble. The right way to handle him is attacking his mistakes. Fury is more vulnerable than he's ever been, and you'd be crazy to underestimate AJ. It's a tough job for AJ, but in my opinion, he has a pedigree. He has a gold medal. He has ability. AJ can punch. He's strong. He's big. It can almost come across when you think about all these attributes like, hold up, this is Anthony Joshua, let's back up. How could he not win? I think personally the people who are giving him no shot at all are crazy. I think people who are giving AJ no shot at all, that's blasphemous. I do not agree with that at all. Very tough fight. And when I say tough, I mean very tough to decide who I think will win. And most people will say, well, how is it tough? Fury's been on fire. He's been smoking everybody. Yeah, but he's also more vulnerable than he's ever been. Fury also gives you an opportunity to hit him more than he ever did. And in the heavyweight division, I just can't have full confidence in someone that gives you an opportunity to hit them. I just can't do that. He said it himself, he's very vulnerable. He's very vulnerable as a fighter, but that's what makes him exciting. Fury's streak can only last so long. Wilder almost got him in the 4th round. With Fury giving you opportunities, that's him taking the opposition for granted. That's why my prediction was, I thought Wilder would knock him out inside of 5 rounds. The prediction almost came true because in the 4th, we had him down. That happened because you tell me one time you've ever seen Tyson Fury walk to somebody straight with his hands like this and just walk forward with his shoulders squared. It doesn't happen. But when he thinks he's in control, he comes out of himself and becomes a little more vulnerable. And I believe that if he did that with us, Deontay would be able to strike and keep him down. It almost happened. It didn't. Credit to Fury. He got up and he continued on to do what he did. But I believe you give someone like Anthony Joshua or Deontay Wilder's opportunities to hit you over and over and over and over, I think that unbeaten run can only last so long. But then again, this is Tyson Fury. He's made us all wrong so many times, and that's the exciting part about him as well.